James Spider-Marks, good morning to you, sir.
Morning,
it was not long ago, last month, May 13th, the president said about Iran, quote, if they do anything, they will suffer greatly. Now we hear from CENTCOM, as Barbara just reported, that this was an unprovoked attack on a U.S. surveillance asset. So what are the range of options for the United States now, right? What is a proportional response to this?
Well, the United States never takes options off the table, and they have a host of things they could do. I would think within reason, the United States could conduct a very limited, very precise strike against the firing battery that was responsible for taking down that Global Hawk surveillance aircraft, unmanned aircraft. The good news, obviously, is that it's $150, but nobody was in it. So, I mean, that's kind of the cost of doing business, which is why we have really developed that technology. So, to your point, they could go take the firing battery out, very precise, very limited strike, and do not at the same time demonstrate any other capabilities that would give the Iranians alert or pause or concern that there was something else that we were going to try to do. So very limited strike.
I mean, General Marks, that's a limited strike that would be on Iranian territory, right?
Sure.
That firing battery would be,
of course,
in Iranian, inside Iran's borders here. And then when you put that together with, listen, this is the largest drone in the U.S. arsenal here. Yes, no pilot in front here, but as you say, $150 million. We looked to see if there was a precedent for shooting down a drone of this size and couldn't find one. I mean, those two things here, the shoot down plus firing back on Iranian territory, sounds remarkably dangerous.
Well, it is remarkably dangerous, and it's very provocative. Let's agree, if we can. Look, my view of Tehran, if their lips are moving, they're lying. So how they reconcile what the positioning, what the, the geopositional data on that UAV was, I discount that. The United States has indicated that it was in international space. Let's agree that that's where it was. Okay. They struck and they took down. And whether they said they did it or not, we can attribute to the fact that the UAV went down as a result of their actions. So the United States, look, rule number one always when the United States deploys is to provide force protection for those that are in region, that are deployed, that are at risk. That's rule one. Rule two is de-escalate. Let's put the intellectual before the physical. Let's figure out what's going on. And so then rule three, there's always a rule three, is if rule two doesn't work, we're going to crush you. Mm-hmm. So there's legitimate concern about a strike on Iran against that very specific firing battery. But the Iranians were very provocative and took down a U.S. aircraft, albeit unmanned. That's a distinction without a difference. Let's be frank here. Unmanned, took it down in international airspace. So we have options. You asked the question, what are the options? There it is.
So, Spider, to you, let's say, play this out for a moment. If that were to be the response that the administration chooses, how does that help achieve the end goal of stopping Iran from getting a nuclear weapon at all costs? Would that not, knowing the regime in Iran, would that not simply motivate them to move more quickly with their uranium enrichment?
Well, their uranium enrichment is already accelerating.
Yep.
So I would say that Iran is going to do what it wants, almost irrespective of what we do, what we want to be able to do. And I'm not sure that we have had a full discussion from this administration with this administration in terms of what the desired end state looks like relative to this current state of affairs. I mean, you start with the strategy first, and then you can backtrack in terms of what's going on and what the conditions look like. And so it's a series of action, reactions, and then counteractions that then lead you to a desired end state. I think, again, we'd agree. I'm not sure what that looks like. And if it is to prevent Iran from having a nuclear weapon, we're not in a better place now than we were previously based on this. If it is to accelerate regime change, I would say we've got a pretty checkered past in terms of doing that well. So I really, frankly, Poppy, I don't know what the end state is.
No.
Wow.
It's not clear. It hasn't been articulated either.
No, and it's so significant. We can't overstate the importance of this. Thank you for your expertise. We appreciate it. Major General James Spider-Marks.